going into this series, because it's an important win for him to take to tie up this series and do what Flash and TY get that momentum they could not.
Yeah, well, we do have the predictions here. It is going to be 5-1. The one being Canada, deciding that SOS actually does have a chance. SOS, back in the day when he was going head-to-head with Hero pretty often, went for a very hidden base build on Overgrowth. He has these weird, tricky builds that he does sometimes, and I feel like that may be the way that he wins here against Zest. Pull out something that maybe he's not going to expect.
I think that's probably his best chance. Zest has been looking very solid, especially in that late game against Protoss, where SOS has actually been looking very weak in that sort of stage.
Yeah, part of the reason why he goes for these hidden bases is to try to get an edge, get an advantage that he wouldn't otherwise get in a straight-up game. I feel like his mid-game is one of his weakest points. He struggles to find harassment. He's not the Warp Prism guy. He's not the Blink Stalker run-by guy. He's kind of like, did I get an advantage in the early game, or did I kill you? If not, the flowchart goes towards, I'm going to have some problems, right?
Yeah, essentially that's what it is. He's got to take some gimmicky chance if he wants to shut at some of these big players like Hero or Zest.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting map, though. Vaani Research Station. Definitely a hard one to take a hidden base on if that was the weird build that he did want to go for. There are, of course, 3 gold bases on this map, but at the same time, I don't think he's really going to be able to get away with that in this mirror matchup.
No, it's just a smaller map in general. It's very easy to scout every base, so hidden bases are kind of like something you just can't get away with.
Stargate play really popular on this map because the backdoor expansion is obviously quite exposed to Oracles and Phoenixes. And in the PvP matchup, normally taking your naturals is one of the hardest things to do, but because this map allows you that backdoor expansion, it's a little bit easier to do that versus ground armies. And so the aggressive player usually will go for, say a Phoenix opening or an Oracle opening on this map, just because you're never going to take the outdoor expansion in this matchup. It's way too risky. It's way too open to Blink Stalker sort of pressure.
There you go. We'll be getting into this game shortly. I truly hope both players are in the lobby now. So we should be starting this off here.
We had been saying that, Zest was learning a bit from Flash about how to delay the matches.
He's taking his time.
Yeah.
I actually think SOS was the one that took his time this time around there. So figure out what's going on in just a moment's time. We get to introduce these players.
Here's Zest himself. Zest is best. He is 21-11, so he was tied for best this time around in Pro League.
Yeah. Him when Hero top Protosses. Scary, scary Protosses, man. Zest with the much better record overall, I believe.
Yeah, indeed. And also, probably the most played player in Pro League. He generally was that last time as well. They keep sending him out, whether he's playing good or bad at the time. He gets those games up and running. Last Protoss he played against was Classic, and he defeated him, but he most recently lost to Innovation in Kodas. As for SOS,
this guy, man, he's got over 100 wins in Pro League. He actually is great in this matchup. He defeated Hero at the IEM World Championship for 100 grand. He's famous for his aggressive play, for changing up the matchup. But in the best of one, I feel like he's not as strong as he is in a longer series, where he can kind of get into his opponent's head. Even if he starts to lose momentum, he knows how to turn it around.
Especially in PvP. Loves to really throw his opponents for a loop. Let's take a look at some closer stats here. Zest versus Protoss is 7-6. We do have to count these little balls. And SOS is 3-4.
There's their wins and losses in their last 10 games. A lot more losses for SOS. A lot of them coming from GSL, recently losing to Classic as well as Hero.
A lot of people critical of SOS in Korea especially. Is he traveling too much? Is he spending too much time overseas trying to get that easy money when he's letting his team down in Pro League? They did very poorly in round 4, and his record in recent times in Korea does somewhat reflect a lack of practice.
Well, guys, let's jump straight into game number 4 right now on Vaani Research Station. Up in the north on Vaani Research Station in the red for KT Rolster, he is Zest.
And his opponent to the bottom, in the middle of the map, in green, $$, SOS.
Hasn't made that money in quite some time.
It really has, and he's been trying. He's been traveling a lot.
By the way,
to
guys,
see
I
Echo
did want
twice.
I did want to say that we did add a little point onto our record, Super winning that last win. So I think we're something like 6-2 against the Korean casters when we go 3-3.
Yeah.
Been keeping that in the back of my mind.
Oh, Brendan.
Just
I like
a little bit of elitism, you know, that I hold deep
like it.
inside of me.
I like it.
Well, I just know that if Daehyun wanted to, he could pick me up and rip me in two with his bare hands, and also he has like about 15% higher prediction rate than me overall, so I don't feel that good about it yet.
Not yet. We have to win like 5 more of these.
Well, I'm very curious to see how SOS especially is going to be playing this matchup. We've seen Zest play a lot of it recently, and we did say SOS lose a lot recently in this matchup.
The weaknesses are exposed for sure. You know what? I actually kind of expect Zest to do something crazy. Like he might be the one who proxies a Stargate or is aggressive with a faster Twilight Council. Because I feel like what SOS would expect is that SOS leads the tempo, kind of the way we expect this. And Zest has been known to try to change that up in the past versus aggressive players, like Billy, for example, from last year. That example comes up to mind. Also versus Creator, he has tried to, against the more calm player, try to be aggressive and fail sometimes.
So far, nothing out of the ordinary from both sides. Just a nice early scout from SOS. Try and figure out what's going on. A little bit of harassment.
Yeah, kind of funny. You know, Zest not going for his own scouts here against SOS, who is oftentimes a very tricky player. SOS looking to possibly... Oh, he's just going to block this gas for as long as he can. Not going to steal it here.
If he makes a mistake, he will absolutely steal it, but obviously Zest's not going to let that happen.
To get up the cybernetic score instead. It's still going to be slightly behind Zest.
Yeah, he lost a lot of mining. You know, when you send your probe out this early, you're losing like 1/10 of your mining early on.
Yeah, really wants that safety first. He's not really going to make up for it either with this harassment. Delaying everything and stopping mining very shortly is never going to compensate for that.
He also didn't really do a whole ton of harassment here. He actually left it idle for a while, so just an overall slightly better build for Zest. He scouts this pylon somewhat suspicious and might expect that it's going to be a fast target, but Zest, sneaky-like, going to come down here and drop a 1-gate Nexus.
Look at this guy. You know, this map is very, very long once that probe is pushed out. It did not see, by the way, anything. You saw the mothership core, you know, along the way, but that was about it. Did not see the probe going down to make that Nexus.
Look at that. Twilight is going to be the choice to start things off for SOS. I do like Zest's build from so far on this map. You know, it's so easy to defend these two bases because of it's a pocket sort of natural. All you have to really do is defend that ramp at the main base. So let's see what SOS is going to do behind this. Is he going to go for that blink style? There's a lot of sort of surface area to blink up into that main base, not just from the ramp, which is also a dangerous thing to think about.
Sure, I think that's what he's going to decide in just a moment here when he sees this Nexus with his mothership core. He's scouting out for this greed, since his probe was not able to. You can see how nervous he is actually going to this, and he's like, oh, okay, you did it. Now, how do I respond? He is going to be blink right away and adding the extra gates. Might even go like 4-gate here if he really wants to commit. But this is definitely somewhat... You know, I wouldn't say it's a late blink, but it's definitely not as quick as a blink, you know, type attack. If that was the original plan, would be kind of a reactionary sort of timing there. And Robo already on the way here for Zest. He just really needs to cover that surface area, which he's already done with pylons, which will give him a good idea of the angle of attack, but he's going to need those immortals as well.
Problem as well with putting pylons on the sides like this is they can get sniped from stalkers below. So they're going to spot out what's there, but beyond that...
Well,
the Valdez prediction comes true.
Never mind. Everything out the window now.
Well, he's definitely going to... Oh my god, is this really going to happen?
Oh.
yeah, he's going to get the scout down.
Cancel it, cancel it, cancel it.
No.
Oh my god.
It
was just started. It was just started. He could have canceled it and remade it. It would have cost him 100 mils, but it would have been absolutely worth it. Now what is he going to do? Cancel it and make more Blink Stalkers and do a big all-in?
I don't think you can cancel it. I think if you cancel it, it's going to be up too late. You're not going to have any sort of ability to defend it when Zest moves onto the map. At least at this rate, he's going to have the ability to photon overcharge it if it gets attacked anytime soon. But it's such a bad place to be right now. And I already see an immortal on the way.
We do have a proxy robotics facility. Wanted to hide it from the hallucinated Phoenix that was heading towards his main.
I think he even wants to make sure that he can get the Rally Immortals to help defend his base as well. Oh man, this is not good for SOS, to put it simply.
Well, I wouldn't get him out just yet because he's going to have such an economic boost from this gold base. Already saturated it. He's just kind of about getting everything out ASAP from here on out. He has to get these units out.
Let's see if he goes Immortal first. Just going to go for the Bay instead.
Wow. Ambitious.
I was thinking maybe he goes for, you know, a heavy blink stalker style, add a lot of gateways with the extra minerals from this gold base, add in some immortals, and just try to knock down the Colossus count before there are too many out in the map. But I guess this is also another path you can take. Just try to match the Colossi of Zest while you have your own gold base compared to his just regular old base in his back door.
Look at the supply difference right now as well. Like, Zest is so far ahead in supply. It's actually kind of crazy at this point. I guess it's because SOS did take a big chance with this base in the middle, but it's kind of already getting out of hand, already 10 supply down.
Yeah, I just, I have to reiterate the fact that gold bases do give you extra minerals, but, it takes a while for that to actually come into play when you've already lost so much mining from how long Zest has had this base. It was one gate into this insanely late gold base. It's going to take several more minutes before he actually catches up in money. He's starting to catch up in supply right now, but that's part of the reason, or partially because Zest is powering up a bunch of gateways and a bunch of tech right now. He's about to explode as well, so keeping this harass on is very important. He did snipe the Observer earlier on, so he has a little bit more flexibility with this harass right now with this Stalker group. But Zest is just going to be ahead for a little while longer, and again, more gateways coming up. I worry for SOS.
Yeah, well, Twilight as well also on the way for Zest. Most likely going to be that charge. I would be surprised if he went for Blink at this point. But he looks like he's really cranking out that production so he can make the army he needs to force this base.
Twilight Council does finish up here, and there is Blink, actually.
Okay. Oh, change to charge.
There you go.
Yeah. There's just not enough Blink Stalkers on the map for SOS to warrant counter Blink. It's not really going to have to worry about that. And he has a ton of minerals he can dump into these Zealots with the better Colossus count he already has. Plus the Immortal he's got in the mix. And this is going to be the moment where SOS needs to try to redirect this attack and defend because he just simply has not enough units, not even close.
Yeah, let's see where Zest is going to be attacking from here. It's going to be a hard place to attack into as well, though. He's going to have that photon overcharge and his units sitting behind it. So maybe Zest is going to just slow things down still. He's like, you know what, you do have that gold base. It's going to run out a lot quicker than mine. So maybe I just go for a third base and build the ideal army for the late game.
It's a cool idea. I am sure he knows he's a bit ahead here and not really too scared about that gold base as well. Just going to sit back, wait for that charge to finish up. Get an extra third base here, get some more minerals out. Go for, big addition of some Archons and a lot of Zealots to follow up those two Colossi that he does have.
Nice micro there. Snipes a single Stalker. Actually means there's not a single Stalker on the map for Zest. Not that important at this moment in time, but just a small little snipe there. SOS is going to try to find another angle to harass these gateways in the main, it looks like, with this Colossi. And with that Warping Pylon he has, he can also use the Colossus' vision to blink, something that Zest does not have in his arsenal. So he can blink into the main, force Zest to walk all the way up the ramp, back into his base, and then try to come in there and defend this.
Well, look at this.
Oh,
They're going to be running into each other.
The Zealots are down here on the ramp, and he has no blink, as you did mention. Going to try to push the Colossi alone in here to deal with the Stalkers, and it looks like he should be able to, actually. Though, a blink coming down, just taking a bit of extra damage.
Wow, a really cool exchange there by SOS. Not working out in the end, but almost sniped the Mothership Core.
Now Archons are being added for Zest, so maybe more inclined to go for this big attack finally.
He's sat on 44 probes for a very long time, as has SOS, actually. Neither of them really going too far in that number.
One big thing that we haven't talked about that Zest is missing is +1 attack. That's something that Zest, is going to be behind in for the rest of this game, considering that, SOS is... He could start +3 any time, whereas the Forge is just now starting for Zest. Oh. So that means this engagement is going to be a much better one. Oh, especially these Zealots are on the ramp, and there's a Time Warp! And look at this angle for the Colossi.
Hitting everything of Zest, and all the Zealots getting in the front. The Time Warp of Zest finally does come out, but all of the Colossi in the back doing a really nice number.
Well, he needs these Zealots to come up to the front because the Archons of Zest did quite a lot of tanking just the same. And a better spread on his Colossi. He's got the defender's advantage.
And he's microing these Colossi so well. Some more Zealots, though, are coming in here. It's down to the Colossi and a small number of Zealots. Looks like SOS has the very small advantage, though.
Yeah, just enough.
You might be able to close this one out. There's just nothing to buffer for these Colossus anymore. SOS is overwhelming his third base.
Oh, the Zealots do come out here for Zest. He's trying to micro them down and chase this army. The Zealots need to come back to help him buffer. He's actually going to grab 2 more Archons, and SOS backs off a bit nervous here.
Well, he should be able to close this out if he attacks now before these Archons finish.
Looks like he's waiting for a big warp in here. Just gets him 2 Archons in. He sees the Archons of Zest and maybe just doesn't want to lose his mainly Zealot army against this. And he's just going to back off, regroup, knows he has the advantage, and go for another big follow-up attack.
Oh, look at this. Already getting the better shots off. His Zealots come up. GG. SOS going to take this one and put Jin Air into match point with a 3-1 lead.
Jin Air into match point with Maru on the way.
Yep, Maru against Life on Terraform. Going to be that next one. Life really going to have to lift. He's going to have to start playing the old Life style because he hasn't had any success in some recent time.
Oh boy, this is going to be such an exciting match coming into this one. We did not expect SOS to actually take out Zest in this kind of PvP, but he was able to do it. A very interesting build going for that gold base. No real big all-in attack off of the back of that. Just decided to punish Zest for going for that third base.
I think Zest made the wrong choice to try to take a third base there against such a forward position with gold base economy for Zealot Warpins. When he had that advantage, he had that time, he misjudged it. And I think he lost his observer early on, so he had to rely on hallucination scouts to see what he was up against. And I understand the fear there, but I think he absolutely could have pushed the issue at a much faster Colossus range and a 1 Colossus lead, as well as all those extra gateways he added. If he had taken the third base before the gateways, maybe that could have worked. He had the economy to make those gateways more useful, or if he had attacked with a faster range, would have worked out. But it was hard to really judge the situation because very few Colossus will ever take gold base on this map. SOS got to his head. That's what he does best. And, just Zest not able to figure out the best way to handle the situation. And now, as mentioned, if Maru takes this versus Life, and I think most people would favor him, it's all over here in this first series.
Especially because it's going to be on Terraform as well. You know, we could see Maru try for that mech again, or maybe just play a straight-up game. Either way, Life has not been in form for quite some time now. He's played a lot of disappointing games in a row.
You know, KT off the back of the round 4 win, they were looking for, just a lot of momentum coming into the postseason here, but not really finding it today. As we said before, Jin Air has been very prepared coming in, and all their players, whether or not they were favored, have been playing better than the KT players. Guys, it does look like we are going to jump to another quick commercial break, so we'll be right back.